Welcome, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. God bless you all. This is my first actual live stream where I'm actually hosting brothers and sisters on my channel. Tonight, we're going to be reviewing our sister Hatun's arrest. And I have with me today brother Claus and sister Daughter of Christ. So I'm going to let them say hello in just a second. But I just wanted to let you guys know that because this is the first live stream, I apologize if things are a little unorganized or anything like that. We're going to try to work things out as we go. And hopefully, Lord willing, in the future, we'll progress, we'll get better together. So, with that being said, welcome, Claus. Welcome, Daughter of Christ. Thanks for being with us. Hey, why don't you guys say hi?
Well,
Hello.
as a gentleman, I'll let Daughter of Christ go ahead.
Thank you so much. God bless you, my two brothers in Christ. I'm so happy to be on your first live stream, Jay. It's a good day. I wish it was for better circumstances, but our sister in the Lord has been attacked by the devil much more than usual. So we're here to review what's happened and hopefully draw some things that need to be said. Me and my brothers. Go on, Brother Claus.
Yeah, amen. And I'm excited to be here with my brother Jay and sister Daughter of Christ as well. Of course, peace of Christ be with to both you, and peace of Christ be to everybody into the channel as well. It's a great time to be on because this is Jay's first actual live stream, but it is the topic that we need to discuss that isn't necessarily something that you would like to deal with, right? Because of course, well, we normally get to deal with this with Muslims on a basis on a scale on the internet, I suppose. But Hatun and the warriors over in UK have to deal with this on a daily basis. So just pray for our brothers and sisters over in the UK that God just keeps them safe while they're preaching the gospel to these Muslims and to the other people over there. Now, Jay, did you want me just to continue or?
Yeah, I just wanted to amen what you were saying. And again, thank you both for coming on. I really appreciate it. Uh, yeah, why don't you give an introduction, Chris, on just kind of a brief overview on what's going on and how sort of that mindset of Islam helps us understand the situation a little clearer. And then once you do that, we'll kind of segue onto the video itself.
Excellent, no problem, no problem. So, Jay, if you can, just I put the link into the private chat. If you can go ahead and put it into the comment section into YouTube. This is a link from a dear brother of ours, Sam Shimon, one of the great warriors that we have out there that are out on the battlefield that are testing these arguments and whatnot, that are providing us with these articles that we can use in defense of the gospel and to show Muslims what their religion truly is like. So people like Sam Shimon and David Wood and of course, the rest of them, Osama Dakdak, Christian Prince, Rob Christian, Adam Seeker, and the rest of them take the arguments that they have, take their articles, and put it into use. So you have to understand what Muslims think about when they think about women, technically, right? So to do that, you would have to go and see what Muhammad would teach. Like, were they stupid and were they like inferior to men, right? Well, it's a resounding yes, as the evidence from the Quran will show you. So if everybody's went to that link, you can see that in Surah 2:28, and I'm just going to go to the highlighted places here for you. But again, use these articles. But the men ought to have superiority over them. Again, men have a degree of advantage over them, and men have a place above them. So again, in Surah 2:228, it's stating that men are superior, of course, over women. Keep going on to Surah 4, verse 34. It says, men have authority over women because God has made one superior to the other. Surah 282, sorry, Surah 2, 282, my fault. and get 2 witnesses of your own men, and if there are not 2 men available, then a man and 2 women. So what this is saying is that if you're going to go in to testify, you need to have 2 men. But if you don't have those 2 men, you can still have that 1 man, but instead of that other 1 man, you need to have 2 women. And why would that be? If we looked into Surah 4, verse 11, it actually says that the portion equal to that of 2 females. So males get more of a portion than females, even inheritance. But going back to Surah 2 verse 282, the reason why is because Allah doesn't seem to think that women are as smart as men either. Now, the reason for this, and I can actually make this statement if we just go down a little further in Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 3, book 48, number 826, it actually says that there is a deficiency of a woman's mind. So just think about this, people. The God of Muhammad, we know the Shaitan, he's actually indoctrinating these Muslims to believe that women have a deficiency of the mind. So yet, if a woman needs to testify, you need to bring 2 women instead of just 1 man. So this is the mindset of what the Muslims are looking at here. Now, this is utterly disgraceful, of course, right? But I'm not going to go too much into the article there because I want to save more of this live stream for the video at hand. But I wanted to get that article out there of our brother Sam Shimon and highlight some of the points in there of the Muslim mindset, right? Again, this is the Muslim mindset that the woman is not as smart as the man. There is a deficiency in her mind. That's what Muslims believe from their own source, trusted own sources, and supposed God. Back to you, Jay.
All right, thank you, brother, for that. So that gives us kind of a glimpse, an overview of the Muslim mindset. And with that being said, let's just get right into the video. So I have the fuller video of the discussions and arrest in the description. Also, I have it as a pinned comment. So that's about like 45 minutes or so. I sort of took clips from that and a clip from, I think, another video that I'll link in the description. I don't have it in there right now, but I'll link it afterwards. And yeah, so with that being said, we're just going to go over some clips. We want to demonstrate some things from this video. The kind of the main focus here that we want to bring out is the inconsistency of the police, and as well about Muslims versus police versus Muslims. Who gives the orders? Who obeys them? Who has the power? Who doesn't have the power? And I think we're going to see that, and those questions will be answered in the video. So with that being said, let's just get right into it.
Are you okay, lad? Are you sick? So, what happened in France when this happened? What happened in France? Do you guys not learn? So what? And then you call us terrorists.
Alright, so I had to bleep some of that out. There is a lot of bad language, as you can guess. But what actually happened in France? In fact, let's back up a minute. Can either Chris Claus or a daughter of Christ, can you tell me what was Hatun wearing on her shirt? And then if you can tell us what happened in France, if one of you guys can enlighten us on that.
Well, I believe. Yeah, go ahead, daughter.
She was wearing a cartoon of Muhammad on her shirt. And what happened in France was Charlie Hebdo, one of their satirical magazines, they had the same picture on. And as you know, what happened to them was their offices were raided by Muslim terrorists, followers of the protected group, and people were killed. in cold blood, opened fire on them. And there were similar incidents happening in Europe after that, of people even just talking about Muhammad, showing a cartoon of Muhammad, a teacher in school, and then the parents heard, they advertised it, they talked about it, and he ended up with his head severed. He ended up dead not long after, even after he'd apologized. So this was a similar thing. So they were surprised that she could dare do that. How dare you? Don't you remember what happened to people who tried this before? That's basically what's happening here.
Yeah. So would you say that that's a death threat, that he's making a death threat there, or at least a very strong implication of a death threat there?
Absolutely, brother. Look at this freeze frame. Look at that. Masked thugs invading my sister's personal space, looking directly in her eyes. Don't you remember what happened in France? What happened in France is that someone got killed because of a cartoon.
Someone got killed. Yeah.
If you can, and if everybody just look at his eyes for a second, that's pure hatred right there. Pure hatred.
Yeah, and just to let you guys know, these are not masks for COVID, right? They're not trying to protect themselves from COVID, right? They're trying to cover their face. Why? Well, maybe this will also give some more insight on what was going on. So on this day, so on Sunday, there was a pro-Palestine, anti-Israel protest. So that brought in a lot of Muslims to Speaker's Corner that aren't normally there, but they're going to rally around, supporting Palestine and anti-Israel. So it brings in a very aggressive type of Muslim, someone who's politically active, someone who gets in your face, but they're wearing a mask for a reason. They don't want to be identified. It's not to protect themselves from COVID. It's not for health reasons. So, Brother Chris, is there anything you want to say before we carry on this?
Yeah, the only thing that I'd like to say here is that the three of those people should be taken to jail immediately for threats of terrorism and threats of violence. Right there, they've said, because you're wearing that shirt, we want to kill you, because in France, because of the picture, that they were marked for death. It's not like an attack. It was a marked for death. That is a death threat by him simply saying that. And then he says, you wonder, and you call us terrorists. Yeah, we call you terrorists for a fact. You are. Look at your words.
Exactly.
And just going off what you said, brother, by the way, in the UK, you don't have to wear a mask in the open air. It's not part of the rules. You may, but you don't have to. Mm-hmm. It tells you that they left their houses covering their faces. That means they left with the intention of getting into trouble, of threatening somebody,
right,
of needing to cover their faces. And can you see the three of them there? All the same sort of outfits? That tells you what was in their heart coming out of their homes to this rally, Palestinian rally.
Right. And so just to give some further context, so not only are they there for this pro-Palestine, anti-Israel protest, but actually Hatun was on her way out. They were just leaving the park at this point. So they weren't expecting anyone to come after them. They weren't expecting this at all. It wasn't like Hatun was going up to people and showing off her shirt to people. They were leaving, and this is what happened. So with that said, let's continue on. So as you guys can see on the screen here, Muslims give demands. This is one of the main points that I want to bring out. Do you listen to the police? Do you listen to the Muslims? Who gives into the demands? Who actually has the power? And with that being said, we're going to play out some clips. Muslims giving demands.
That's all right. Get your camera out of my face, man. Get your camera out of my face. Get your camera out of my face.
All right. So I don't want to be pausing every 2 seconds, but honestly, it's really, we have to. So first demand the Muslim makes: get your camera out of my face, bro. Get your camera out of my face. That's the first thing. And what do you think would happen if the person didn't take their camera down? Just any guesses, Brother Claus or Sister Daughter of Christ? What would have happened if the camera wasn't taken down?
Oh, somebody's getting smacked.
Yeah, someone's getting smacked. Yeah, that's the impression that I got as well. So that's the first demand being made from the Muslims. Get the camera out of my face. Strong implication of violence is coming your way if you don't listen. So let's continue on. Oh, go ahead, daughter. You can make a
By
comment
the
if
way,
you want to.
in a public place, you can be filmed. It's not against
Right.
the law.
Especially Speaker's Corner, right?
Especially Speaker's Corner. He
Yeah.
has no right to demand that or intimidate. And by the way, some of the camera women who are Christian, they are ladies. Just to let you know.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to talk that way to a lady. They're going to threaten a lady like that. All right. So with that being said, let's carry on.
How do you stand next to a person like this? How? What are you guys, bro? What are you guys?
So, what are you guys? What are you guys? Hatun says they're not Muslims. Exactly. They're not Muslims. This guy, and then they're going to go on right now to make some very blatant death threats. Before, it was you could say they were implicit. What happened in France? Do you remember what happened in France? But now, check this out. It gets very explicit.
If you care too much about your blood, we don't care about our blood. We'll eat you guys alive, bruv. I swear to God the day will come. On my mother's life, bruv.
All right. Any comments on that, guys?
We don't care about our blood. We will eat you alive. That day will come. I swear on my mother's life. If that's not a death threat, I don't know what is. What do you think, brother Chris?
Oh, I would pray to God nobody says that in my presence to my wife. Anyway, right? Yeah, that's just completely disgusting. But that's what we get from Islam, right? They're waiting for their jihad. And that's exactly what he's insinuating here. He may not be able to do anything right now. Why? Because UK is not a Sharia controlled area. It is almost, right? It's getting to that point. But right now it's not under Muslim rule. Once it's under Muslim rule, they would kill Hatun and they would stand there and they would cheer about it. And they would have no problems doing that. And that's the disgusting thing about Islam is these people here actually want that. That's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, and this is all over a shirt that she's wearing. A shirt that depicts a cartoon that has Muhammad in the cartoon. And that's what this is all over. And so now the police show up. And let's see what happens. Okay, just had to pause there for a second. First of all, let me just go back a little bit. So it's kind of hard to hear that, but he's saying all you have to do is remove her from the park. And you guys can hear the police officer screaming that we're trying. So Muslims surround Hatun. They don't like her shirt. And so the solution is removing her from the park. Not the Muslims who are surrounding her, not the ones who are giving death threats. But the solution is Hatun needs to be removed. What do you have to say about that, sister, daughter of Christ?
By the way, any of our brothers and sisters that say, why doesn't she just go? I tell you why. If she leaves, it means this works. It means that if they demand that somebody leave, it will happen. So if she leaves voluntarily, it means that they've won. That means that they can turn up anytime and say, we don't want that. We don't want somebody to preach the gospel. Remember, Hatun is not just a woman. She's a kafir. She's the worst of creatures. She's a Christian. She's preaching the gospel. and she's insulting Muhammad. She's ticked every box for which she can be killed under Sharia. And Muslims want to dictate what happens at Speaker's Corner. That's why she doesn't just go. Go on, bro.
Yeah, and as a brother in Christ, I support her staying. I think that she has to, for the very thing that Daughter of Christ just said. You can't let the Muslims think that, oh, just because we have more people than you, we can push you out of this circle and we can shut you down. That's what this world is trying to turn into right now. And once it turns into that, that's when Muslims are going to start to come in and try to push everything around. So yeah, I totally agree with 100% with Hatun's doing, and I just pray that the Lord keeps her safe in the mission that she's on.
Amen. So I just want to. Can you guys see my? Can you guys see my mouse? If I have it over. Okay. You see this brother? You see this brother here? The one that the mouse is around?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to give a shout out to this guy. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite. I want to say like the guys who protects Hatun. Whenever he's there, Muslims always they act right around him. They act proper around him. From what I understand, he's a former MMA fighter. He's a Christian brother, loves the Lord, and when Muslims are around, when he's there, they act proper. So unfortunately, he showed up a little too late. But like I said, Hatun was leaving. It's not his fault. No one knew that this was going to happen. But when he shows up, he knows his presence. Muslims, cowards. They want to pick on women. When he's there, they act right around him. And you're gonna see a little bit of what he does. Why they why they are the way they are around him in a little bit. It's gonna come up in a clip here. Let me continue on.
Can't you see that?
Calm down. Calm down. Everyone calm down. Calm down. Calm it down.
So yeah, just a shout out to that brother. You guys can see here that this Muslim, he's getting up in Hatun's face. Look at him getting up in her face, right? He comes in, just swings him around, takes the guy right away from her, and then he starts saying calm. He knows the police aren't really able to calm the Muslims down. He starts screaming. That's him screaming, calm down, calm down. He even got the police officer looking at him. Watch this. The police officer was even like, whoa, I wish I had that authority.
Calm it down!
Calm it down. Even the police officer's like, man, I wish I had that type of authority. I wish Muslims would listen to me like that. But anyway, I just want to give a quick shout out to that brother. I don't know if you guys have anything to say about that, but I really love that brother, and I pray for his protection, and I pray that he's always around whenever Hatun needs him. Anything you guys want to say about that? I know it's not really. Yeah, go ahead.
I've noticed that, brother. We need to clone him by times 100. He speaks the language that Muslims understand. I've seen him a lot of times standing between Hatun and Muslim thugs. He doesn't escalate. He's very calm, but I guess they care about how big somebody is. So honestly, I wanted to do that at the end, but I want to do a shout out now to any Christian brothers who are around Speaker's Corner, London area. If they are able to turn up on Sundays, to just their presence. See, they don't even need to do anything. Just their presence around our sister is what deters these thugs. They don't understand logic. They don't understand the law. They don't understand reason. They don't care that she's a woman. We need you. And I've seen a few, but not. They are outnumbering them, and they care about numbers and power. That's the language they understand. Well,
you're totally right. Before Chris, before you step in, bro, I just want to just amen what daughter said. If you're a Christian in the area and you just sometimes just your presence, you're a Christian brother, sometimes your presence, just being there is enough to deter violence. Because Muslims, when they gang up in groups like that, they're very cowardly. They pick on women, they pick on people, like elderly people. There was an elderly gentleman, God bless him. He did try to intervene when the Muslims came in, but they were about to, it looked like they were about to injure even an old man. So these guys, they really have no limits in terms of their they have no shame at all. But if you are a Christian brother out there, sometimes your presence, just your presence, being there is enough to deter some sort of violence, and we just pray for our sister's protection. But God can use us as her brothers, as her sisters. He can use us as a means to protect her as well. Go ahead, Brother Chris.
Yeah, I just want to point out here, yeah, this is going to be kind of ironic too. We've all seen the videos of our brother in Christ, Sam Shimon, Anthony Rogers, and David Wood, when they went to debate, Shooter, Fib, and Ibn Farouk there. They didn't have this confrontation. When a Christian goes somewhere to have a conversation, they go to try to have a conversation. These Muslims, when they were coming to try to have a conversation, that wasn't the conversation that they wanted to have. The conversation that they wanted to have was violence. So I just wanted to point that out for everybody, that when Christians go to Muslims, we want honest, respectful conversation. When these Muslims are coming to Christians, there is no more of that honest conversation implied in their mindset. It's all about jihad, and we can see that. Again, I just want to say God bless that gentleman there. And let's be honest, though, Jay, those little two Muslim guys that were standing there, they weren't very big. And that other guy, that MMA guy, he's built.
Yeah.
He can, he's got that beard, he's got that, and he's got that look too, right? Like,
yeah, he could have crushed him, but he didn't, because lucky for them, he's a Christian.
That's what I mean. But just the view of that can just be intimidating. And then as soon as he said, he's got that deep voice too. So yeah, just God bless everybody over there that's doing their thing and preaching the gospel. And may God be with them.
Amen. So now, guys, we're gonna get into a clip here where the police speak about danger, that there's danger, and we're asking the question: who is the danger? Is Hatun the danger? Is she causing danger, or is it the Muslim crowds, the Muslim masses? Are they the danger? That's the question we want to raise. Here we go.
You're not in danger. You're certainly not in danger. Yeah, you are. Take her from here. Arrest her. We've had arrest her. You put yourself in this position. You know you get yourself out of it. Ridiculous. Yes. And our safety. Everyone else's safety. I believe this is one we have the power to ask you.
All right, before we get into the power that he has, or that he thinks that he has, which maybe he does have it lawfully, but does he actually have it? Is it actually enforced on everybody? We're going to get into that. But he says that Hatun is putting them all in danger. So Hatun, according to him, Hatun wearing the shirt. By the way, okay, guys, let me just put it in perspective again. Hatun is leaving the park. She's leaving the park. She has a cartoon on her shirt. In this cartoon, there's a depiction of Muhammad on her shirt. She's leaving the park, about to leave. All of a sudden, she's confronted by Muslims. This police officer, I don't know the decor in like the UK in terms of the police, like the badges and the stripes, and he looks like a high-ranking officer, though. He looks like he's probably one of the, maybe like a higher-ranking officer. So he's saying that she's putting them in danger. She's putting the police in danger. Okay, so guys, let me ask this question. Hatun is putting the police in danger because she's wearing a shirt. So what's the logical, what do you do? Do you remove the danger? Do you remove the danger, or do you remove the victim? What do you guys think?
In the UK, the the hats, the black and white hats, with the stripes, they are higher rank. And by the way, any eagle-eyed viewers in the UK, their numbers are on the shoulders, so you can actually complain about them individually. You don't need the names. But anyway, I want you to see that the officers, they direct their anger and frustration at Hatun for their lives that are in danger from the Muslim mob. It's like I'm walking with some jewelry with a friend. Someone attacks me to want to mug me to take away the jewelry. My friend looks at me saying, "You've put my life in danger." Instead of blaming the person who's mugged me, looking at the victim to blame the victim. This is what's happening.
Yeah. Brother Chris?
I think it's just disgusting that it would even be a choice. Like, so we're gonna have about 80 people go in to somebody's house, right? And then we're gonna kick the owner out just because the owner doesn't want them there. Like, this is the type of mentality that one has to have now. You can't just walk into somewhere and just start trying to show your non-authority. Well, try to imply you have authority when you really don't. And actually have these men that think that they have authority, which truly everyone wearing a badge there today should put their badge down and realize that they are not a cop. There's not one person there that is truly being there to protect anyone. All they're doing is saying, "Oh, we don't want to be here, guys. If we just get Hatun out of here, everybody will calm down." No, that's not the way it works. And everybody with a badge should lay it down and realize that they're not actually being a police officer in this regards. It's just disgusting to even watch a police officer even act like this.
Yeah, they're basically being security for the Muslims. So Muslims can decide, hey, today we don't like people wearing green shirts. So every time you see someone with a green shirt, encircle them, rage, mob. We don't like green shirts. We don't like green shirts. The police come in. Oh, you're wearing a green shirt. You offended the Muslim mob here, so we're going to remove you. You're the problem. This is just my shirt. What do you mean I'm the problem? This is my shirt. This is the shirt that I'm... is it a dress code or something? No, you offended the Muslims. They're upset at your shirt. They found it offensive. And because today they decided they don't want to have, green colored shirts, we have to remove you. You're the problem. You are the problem. So the victim becomes the problem. All right. All right, guys. So let's continue on. Let's see what happens next. So I don't know if you caught that, but he says that he has the power as a police officer to tell people when they can leave the park. But when a police officer tells you have to leave the park, we know what happens in Hatun's case. You have to leave the park, she gets arrested. But is that consistent? Is that consistently the case? If every time a police officer says you have to leave the park and you don't leave, you should be arrested, right? That's what we should take away from this. Police officer says you have to leave the park. I have the power as a police officer to tell you have to leave the park. If you don't leave the park, you're going to be arrested. Okay, that's what happened in Hatun's case. Let's see if that's fair. Let's see if that's consistent. Let's see.
Hey, can I say something before we continue as well, Jay?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to point out that a lot of Christians out there may be saying, well, Jesus said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar. So laws of the land and so on and so forth. That has nothing to do with this. This man is abusing the power that he actually thinks that he has. If anything goes against your inalienable human right that has been bestowed upon us by our Creator, if anything goes against that, we do not have to accept it. I just want to put that out there because a lot of people may say, well, she should just leave. The cops, the police are saying it. No, she should not. Again, there are rights and inalienable rights that we have endowed to us by our Creator. And if any of those are threatened or tried to take away, you do not have to give in. And I wouldn't anyway. Sorry,
and by the way, she did not break any UK law. The police does not have the right to tell you to go from anywhere, especially not Speaker's Corner, if you just stood there peacefully. She stood there peacefully in a t-shirt of her own choosing. She broke no law.
She has the right to speak.
She has the right to speak and she has the right to stand. She broke no law. So even the argument of we need to obey the laws of the land doesn't stand. He's illegally asking her to go. Illegal.
Right. But even with that, even with that, let's measure the consistency. Police officer says, Hatun, you have to leave. She says, I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not in Saudi Arabia. What are we? We're in England. We're in London. What do you mean? What do you mean I have to leave? I didn't do anything wrong. You don't like my shirt? I have to leave? No, you have to leave. I'm a police officer. Don't argue with me. You have to leave. Otherwise, you're being arrested. And she gets arrested. Okay, let's see how consistent that is. If a police officer tells you have to leave and you refuse to leave, what happens? Let's measure the consistency.
Take that uniform back.
All right, that was a little fast, but you just have this guy again. This guy.
Take that uniform back.
Take that uniform off. Come around the corner, brother Chris. What's he saying by that? It sounds like he's quoting Ice Cube or something like that. Like,
Oh yeah.
take off the gun, take off the badge, and right. That's what he's saying, right?
Yep. Yep. Basically saying if you weren't a cop, we'd be thrown down right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go on. So who has to obey your power, Mr. Officer? Okay, clearly not that guy. Okay. All right. So Mr. Mimi, Mr. Muhammad Hijab. Okay. So like I said, there was an anti-Israel, pro-Palestine protest at Speaker's Corner that day. Mr. Mimi himself was leading one of the events, and so he was there that day. Let's see what happens.
Guys, you're gonna have to leave the park. You're gonna be leaving in a second. You're the one who's driving cars out of Palestine. Why are you fast? Why are you driving? Go away. Tell me to go away, man.
No, I'm not gonna leave. Go away. No, you go away. Don't touch me. This is crazy. This is insane. And what happens? The police just walk away. They say to this guy, "You have to leave the park." No, I'm not gonna leave. Go away. No, you go away. And he's telling the police officer, "No, you go away." And what happens? The police officer goes away. So who's obeying whose orders? I thought when Hatun refused your order to leave the park, you arrested her, right? Isn't that what you did? But now you have Mr. Mimi. He's there. He's saying, "No, I'm not gonna leave." And he's directly telling you, he's directly saying, I'm not gonna obey your direct order. And what happens? You walk away as the police officer. What happened to your power? What happened? Sister daughter, what do you think?
This is a dog eat dog world. It's all about how big you are. I hate to be on Mimi's side. He has the right to say no. He has the right to say, no, I'm not leaving. This is a public space. He's just stood there. Same with Hatun. It's a public space. She's just stood there. But Hatun got arrested because she's a small Christian woman compared to these big guys. These big guys, they got away with it. No, you go away. And they insulted a police officer.
Yeah.
That's what's going on. And they know because they're in the protected group. If that police officer arrests Mimi, oh, the victim, that will be everywhere, and they'll get in a lot of trouble because the protected group have more rights. Our little sister Hatun, compared to these big men, she has no rights, and she can be removed anytime. Go on, brother Chris.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you. He has the same right, the son of Muta there, the scum wipes off their shoes, which everybody else in the Muslim world calls this Mimi hijab individual. He definitely has the right to say what he wants to say. But what I find is weird is why do they want Muhammad hijab to leave? There's a reason for this. And now I'm speculating from watching videos, and I watch a lot of videos, probably more videos than I should because I actually make videos myself. So usually you try to get rid of what the cops are trying to do is they're trying to diffuse the situation. So they want to try to get rid of the two people that are the most heated, that can cause the most frustration. It's not right what they're doing, but this is what I see that they're doing. So of course they want to remove Hatun But the question would be, why do they want to remove Muhammad hijab as well? Well, the reason is because all these little thugs and thuglets that you see running around the police officers and whatnot are the ones that are walking with Muhammad hijab, the ones that are holding his bag while he's on his microphone screaming, and while he's walking up and down complaining about the Israel-Palestinian conflict that I don't even want to address. But there's a reason for it, and I believe it's because they believe that Muhammad hijab is the leader of these little thugs, then that if he leaves, they're going to leave as well.
All right, so it's about to repeat that scene, so check it out, guys.
Leave the park. You guys have three countries. Everyone's going to have to leave the park, please. Leave the park, guys. Don't leave the park now. Don't leave the park now. It's a democracy. It's all kicked off, and now you need to leave the park. You guys are going to listen to me.
I just want to point out here too, Jay, before you do start, that every Muslim that was in the last 7 seconds of that clip before Jay just paused it, every one of them were looking directly at Muhammad hijab, waiting for him to say something. I think I'm right.
Yeah, he's definitely the one calling the shots. In fact, you know, he had I don't want to give attention to anything that he does, but I mean, he was leading basically a debate, kind of like a sort of, I don't know if he was leading the protest itself, but he was at least taking part of it and having a debate, having a speech. So, you know, Muslims look up to him. They view him as a leader figure, and that's going to come out in one of the other clips, that he is viewed as the leader. When he says do something, the Muslims follow suit. They do it.
And also, did you notice the guy next to him? The guy next to Mimi Hijab was the one talking about the Paris threats.
Right. Yeah.
Just to remind you, they're both one and the same. They're standing next to each other, one unit talking to the policeman. Just to remind everybody.
That's actually 100% correct. I was about to say the exact same thing. 100% correct.
Yeah. All right. Now check this out, guys. So the police actually think that they're the ones with the power. They actually think that they're the ones that are making the demands. They think that they're the ones that are in control. But let's see who really is.
Nobody's leaving. She's the only one leaving. Don't drive the problem.
There you have it. She's the only one leaving, mate. She's the only one leaving, mate. She's the only one leaving. Well, guess what? That's exactly what happened. He made a demand. He told them this is what's gonna happen, and that's exactly what happened. You're telling us we have to leave? You're telling us to get out of the park? No. She's the only one that's gonna get out of the park. We're not going anywhere.
What happened to the police powers to remove? I, as a police officer, can ask you to move. What happened to that? Who's running the park? Who's running Speaker's Corner, Hyde Park, London? Who?
That's the question. Who is running the park? Who has the power? What do you think, Chris?
Looks like it's almost Sharia-fied now to me. And what we see today, as I've said, you know, we have this new era of Muslims coming up, and they're not intellectuals anymore. They're just little thugs. Like you have Shooter over there, Ibn Farouk, you know, the fibbing guy. He even identified him as a shooter. Now, for those people that want to point, like he tries to point out that Anthony identified himself as a crook in his previous gang lifestyle. Now, let's think about this for a minute. Yes, Anthony probably stole things and got the name crook. That may have been where it come from, whichever they want to portray it, right? But shooter, you're taking the life of another person. That's literally what he was doing. So to identify yourself that way, that to me is the whole new era of Muslims coming up. there's no intellectuals anymore. They want to try to take everything with force.
And they are very stupid because they said this is a democracy in the same breath as move her from the park. Where's her democracy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Check this out, guys. They say that a picture says 1,000 words. So when someone has their hand, look at where Muhammad Hijab has his hand. He has his hand placed on this officer, like right around his his bicep area. He's basically telling him, basically patting him, like he's like, I got this. Like you can back up. I got this. Like, so he's the one in the power position. He's the one that's able to kind of imagine putting your hands on a police officer and telling him to back off. Imagine that. That's what he's doing, and he's getting away with it.
That's against the law. Putting a hand on a police officer.
Yeah, and he's pushing him back too. He's pushing him back.
That warrants an arrest.
You know what this reminds me of? And you're probably going to get in trouble from Ali Dawa on this one, Jay, because this actually shows that Mimi Hijab is actually cheating on his boyfriend Ali Dawa with this policeman. That's not a holding back. He's gripping and he's feeling that muscle. That's a love squeeze, not a holding back squeeze. So I think Ali Dawa and I think Mimi Hijab's going to have a little bit of an argument over this one. And I think you're the one to blame, Jay, because you're the one that had the picture. You caught Muhammad Hijab doing that.
Well,
but he's proud of that.
Yeah. All right. So whatever is going on here, he's definitely in the power position. And check this out.
Came back. You idiot. Okay, calm down. Leave the officers to do his job.
Calm down. Leave the officer to do his job. So he pushes the officer out of the way. And he's telling the Muslims, you guys calm down. Let the officer do his job. But wait a minute. He was doing his job when he told you to get out of the park, and you didn't listen to him. When you...
He's trying to say, look, he's doing what we want. Don't turn on him.
Exactly.
Doing what we want. Let them do it. They're getting on with it. Don't rush them. Yeah, they're all on the same side, the side of the devil that wants to silence our sister.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening.
All right.
Yeah, I just that and the rest of that clip just made what I said even more true.
Sorry, Jay, you said a picture shows 1,000 words. Look at this freeze frame right here. Look at how he looks at my sister compared to how he was looking at the Muslims.
Yeah, and I didn't add this in there, but there was a police officer. He's like making jokes with the guy who lifted up his shirt and said like we're out for blood, or I mean whatever he said, something about like we're not afraid. Basically, he's implying like I'm not afraid to shed blood. And he's making very explicit threats. Later on, another police officer is basically, they're kind of like doing the fist bump and they're telling jokes with each other. You guys can see it in the fuller video on the Twitch channel. But he tells the police officer, he's like, what? She's only, this much weight. Why don't you guys just lift her up and pick her up out of here? And then they both start laughing. They're telling jokes together. So they're telling jokes with the Muslims. They're fist bumping. They're giving into their orders. The Muslims give an order, they give into it. But when it comes to the Christians, when it comes to Sister Hatun, I mean, look at his face, look at his eyes. He looks like he wants. I mean, if looks could kill, I mean, he might be going away for murder. So, all right, let's continue on. Don't argue with me or you'll be arrested. Wait a minute. What did Muhammad Hijab just do? Don't argue with me or you'll be arrested. Okay, what if she said, no, I'm going to arrest you? Do you think he would have put her in cuffs right there and then? I mean, this is crazy. The double standards, the inconsistency on behalf of the police here. It's very, very shameful. Very disgusting. What do you think?
Because she's a woman. She can shout at a woman and intimidate her and tower over her and tell her, don't argue with me. But yeah, big man. I didn't see that kind of look when he was talking to Mimi and the guy next to him who was threatening with something similar to the Paris attacks. Yeah. I didn't see that look, and I didn't see don't argue with me, and I didn't see I'm a police officer. But with a little woman, big man. Shameful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and when he looks at Mimi Hijab, he's got love in his eyes, and when he looks at Hatun, the devil truly comes out. I didn't get to say, but that last view of the cop definitely looked like a satanic view when he was looking at Hatun. So there is something inside of that cop, I believe, other than just himself. I think there's a hatred for Christ inside of that cop for him to even act like this, because he's even going beyond humanity at this point. Like, even a normal human can realize what this cop is doing is wrong, and this cop seems to think it's an okay thing to do. So I think that he definitely there's definitely a Christ hater there.
And all along, just to remind everyone, Hatun is just stood there.
That's right.
That's all she's
That's right.
Go on, Bob.
All right, let's continue on.
You want to be arrested? Because you refused to leave the car. Seriously, can you go away? Not in the spirit of Speaker's Corner, guys. We just...
It's not in the spirit of Speaker's Corner to come here and offend people. Is that true, daughter? What is that? Is that true?
That is absolutely not true. Speaker's Corner is where you can say anything, any opinion. If the criteria was to not offend, then anytime you say an opinion to offend somebody, then Speaker's Corner will be shut down. The very definition of Speaker's Corner is that you can go and express your opinion that someone else can disagree with and find offensive. That's the whole point of freedom of speech. So what he said is completely moronic, it's illogical, it's not true. Speaker's Corner is the place of free speech. I told you this, brother, before we came. First they came after the t-shirts. And I did not speak up because I didn't wear the t-shirt. Then they came for the cross necklaces. And I did not speak out because I didn't wear a cross necklace. Then they came for the Jews and the yarmulkes. And I did not speak out because I didn't wear a yarmulke. That's what's happening. All she's done was wear a t-shirt of her choosing and stand in a park in London. This is madness. Oh, there's not the whole point is that you can't offend nobody. Then what about us? We're offended. We were offended when that man stood and told our sister, "Don't you learn from France?" I didn't see him being arrested. What happened to the offensive rule then? Again, shameful, shameful. And that man is a senior police officer. He's head of them. Look at all of them looking at him for direction, for guidance.
Right.
He's in the center of them.
The way they're looking at him is how the Muslims were looking at Muhammad Hijab. Same exact way. Yeah.
He is the head, and he gives the orders, and he has such a moronic, illogical, illegal view of what's offensive and what's freedom of speech. Should not be in that position if he doesn't know anything about the rules of Speaker's Corner, Hyde Park.
Thank you, sister. All right, go ahead, Claus. Go ahead.
No, I agree with everything our sister just said. I just look at I disagree with everything about this. I've been appalled ever since I watched it on sister's channel when she uploaded it.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're at like 53, almost 54 minutes right now. So let's just try to get through this. And there's a couple more spots to pause on, but we're gonna let's carry on. Let's go.
Really, these guys shouldn't be freaking out. You know what I mean? They talk
Why it happened?
Because, she's done this many times before. Making a statement, and it's not. It shouldn't be. They do a lot worse. You know what I mean? When it comes to.
Did he come to Did he get physical?
I'm not too sure. I heard something about.
One of them was exposing himself, pulling his pants out at the front, and they were being threatening and using extreme foul language. That was as they started as soon as they arrived, let alone before they even said anything.
All right, so just quick question. Is this the first time, sister, daughter of Christ, is this the first time that Hatun has ever worn this shirt at Speaker's Corner?
No, she wears it every Sunday.
She's wears it every Sunday.
Yeah, but it seems that the rules are different when there is a mob of the protected group saying no, we're offended. Move. Then all of a sudden the law is like you can't be offensive. But she's being offensive every week wearing that shirt, and it's not the first time that they forcibly removed her by force against the law when she just stood there. But this time I think it's escalated.
First time for the shirt, though, right? First time for the shirt.
First time for the shirt, but before, yeah, for other things like
right. So just want to make that clear, because that's what the person was saying. He's like, look, I mean, this has been going on for months. She's been wearing the shirt for months. What's going on? and he's pointing out kind of like the hypocrisy of what's happening. And yeah, it's like this is not the first time she wore this shirt. If the shirt was the problem, then why didn't they remove her the first time that she wore it, or the second time, or the third time, or et cetera, et cetera?
And notice, brother, how they didn't care when the gentleman told them there was someone exposing themselves. Nudity, exposing yourself in that way is illegal. And they didn't act on that. That's the illegal part. You can't actually arrest somebody for that. But because it was somebody from the protected group,
yeah,
nothing.
Kind of tilted his head at it, kind of like, oh, okay. Yeah. What do you think, Brother Chris?
Yeah, the only thing that I would say onto this, and this just points out the fact more that Muslims actually view Muhammad as being divine, because they cannot accept the picture of a Muhammad anywhere. So they want to try to kill the person that has it. But I guarantee if you wore a shirt with a picture of Jesus portrayed as Jesus on it, the Muslims aren't going to act this way. They're not going to act this way if you have a picture of, let's say, portrayed as Moses, or let's say a picture, a shirt with a picture, let's say, portrayed as David on it, or any other prophet that you could point to in Islam. It doesn't really matter about any other prophet in Islam. If you were to portray them as a picture on a shirt, nobody really care. Only when it comes to Muhammad. And why?
Right.
Because they believe he's divine.
Yeah.
Also, Brother Chris, Hatun actually did a picture of Allah. She had no complaints. A picture of Allah with his two right hands and everything. They complained about, she had Muhammad in the corner. They complained about that. Don't have pictures of Muhammad. But even Allah, they don't complain. Muhammad is the real God of Islam.
Yeah.
Just going to post a link in the chat, guys. Interesting how, as far as I know, and Dado, you can confirm that the stream that you did yesterday on Sierra International was completely unplanned in terms of it didn't have anything to do with the events on Sunday in Speaker's Corner, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and they did a stream yesterday, Sister Daughter of Christ and Brother Abdul Fadi, and the stream was on the worship of Muhammad. I mean, like God's divine, like providence planning, amazing, the timing for that. And so fitting. That's exactly as Brother Chris said, that's exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, the outrage, I will spill my blood for this, I will give my soul for this, I will kill for this.
Yep.
He is their God. They deify him, they see him as God. And if you dare even draw a picture or speak about him in a different way, they come for you. And they press on the police. You see that with an abandon that, we don't care what happens to us or her. We need, because he is a God to them. Yeah.
So out of one side of their mouth, we respect all the prophets. We don't make any distinction between them. Out of the other side, it's worship of Muhammad. I mean, like you said, sister. Even you can. Hasuna showed depictions of Allah, of the ones that they claim is their God. They don't care. They don't do anything. At least they might care, but they don't do anything. But Muhammad on a shirt, that's crossing the line. That's what's crossing the line. Not depicting Allah, but depicting Muhammad. All right. So let's continue on, guys. Here we go.
Muslims have been intimidating everybody, and you've done nothing. You've done nothing.
Just wanted to include that to say that person there is speaking the truth. Like the Muslims are intimidating everybody. Nothing to the Muslims. They're cracking jokes with Muslims, bumping fists with Muslims. They're taking orders from Muslims. But the ones who they're victimizing, the ones who they're picking on, those are the problem. Those are the problems. Any comments, or should we continue forward?
You can continue, brother, if it's okay with Brother Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, here we go.
Because you're one again.
Man, my heart was like broken when I saw this. Like, honestly, just seeing Hatun in this position, you have like, I understand they're police officers, but it's just they're the way they're like manhandling her. It's insane. Like, my heart, like, I was like, ugh, I just felt so powerless. It's like so sad to see them treating her like that. It's like she's just like this little doll that they're just picking up and they're grabbing. I mean, this is our sister, and it's just so heartbreaking to see them treat her like that. Because for what? Because she offended the sister, daughter of Christ said that she offended the protected group. That's her crime.
By the way, I've known Sister Hatun for a few years. She's the gentlest person you could ever meet. Don't let the high voice in Speaker's Corner fool you. She prays for everybody she knows by name. The Dawa gangs, the people who mock her, the people who send her threats, the people who put her in cells in prison illegally overnight. She prays for everybody. And even people who attack her. And so to see her in this way, they don't have to be this close to her. The officers, they know that if they intimidate her enough, she will not come to Speaker's Corner the next week. And that's what they want. They want to appease the Muslims. And that's what's happening. And she's on her own in the middle of them, with almost helpless, like she's looking up and they're looking down. We control you, manhandling her, moving her. I'm sure you can see her black cardigan is slipped off her shirt. It's just heartbreaking. I have to say that when I was editing the video, I cried.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I'm lost for words.
So sad.
I would have been in jail if I was there. I would have stopped that cop.
It's such a terrible situation, you know. Man, to see how they're treating our sister here, and the double standards, it's like, really, it's an injustice. It really truly is. Anyway, we're just over an hour mark, so I'm gonna go through here. Let's continue on the video, and we should be closing out pretty soon, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. God bless you all, and have been reading your comments, have been interacting, but I haven't seen your comments. It's great to have you all. God bless everybody. All right, let's continue on.
Gents, stay where you are. Just get back behind the cordon for us, sir, please. Sorry. You go back behind the cordon for us.
The other side for us, please. Thank you.
So yeah, obviously that's the arrest there, dragging her onto the van, and this is the aftermath. So now people are talking about the arrest. They ask a police officer, what happened? Why was she arrested? What law did she break? And here is the answer.
Did she not just get arrested? No, she just got arrested, didn't she?
Yeah.
What did she do?
But she's probably been arrested.
For what? She's been arrested, bro.
She's been arrested
I just found out about
for what? Prevent the police from the peach public.
Yeah.
It's not the first time. 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 I think last time actually she was assaulted.
Okay, explain to me that law. Breach of the peace.
Sorry, can I try? Did someone literally just get arrested just now?
Girl,
Listen, you won't give this to her. Easy.
Right now,
go and give that to her.
No, but she can die. Huh? Who got arrested?
The lady who was.
Oh,
Explain to me that law.
what law?
Breach of the peace.
Breach of the peace. If
What
I say, what team do you support?
That's what Chelsea.
Right,
Nobody
okay.
laughed.
So, right, I'm a Tottenham fan, right? So, imagine you was in the Tottenham end, yeah, and you were screaming out Chelsea, Chelsea, and then whatever. To prevent you from breaking that peace, so everyone's sitting there quietly, like they do in Tottenham, yeah, praying that we're going to score. If you was up there going Chelsea, Chelsea, we can take you away from that situation.
Fair enough.
Okay? All right? And what can happen then is we can sort of sit there and say, is there any other charges?
All right. Is that an accurate analogy? Yeah, right? Yeah. Is that an accurate analogy for what just happened? So Hatun is leaving the park. She's about to go home. Okay, so the analogy is let's say that there's a football tournament. Let's say team A is on one side of the stadium, team B is on the other side of the stadium. He's saying someone from team B side of the stadium went over to team A side of the stadium and they started cheering for their team. And they started causing a ruckus. He's saying, we can remove that person, take them out of there. Is that what Hatun was doing? Was Hatun going into Muslim crowds? Was she going into crowds? Was she showing off her shirt? Was she insulting Muhammad? Was she saying things against Islam? Was she going into their crowds? Or what happened? She was the one that was encircled. It's the opposite. They encircled her. They mobbed around her. That analogy, it's such a bad analogy. It doesn't describe what happened. But comments, go ahead, brother and sister.
And what he said isn't even the breaking of the peace. Like, that is a false analogy, what the police just said. I hate to say it. I've been in trouble a few times prior to me being a Christian and being saved by Christ. You have to break the peace. The only way that technically she would have been breaking the peace is if she would have walked into a mosque and they were all praying there nicely and peacefully and quietly, and it was nice and quiet area and whatnot just for that. And she went in, no matter what she was wearing, and just started screaming and causing chaos in that area. So it's more than just being loud. You actually have to start some type of chaos in that area as well. So that's and so a cop doesn't even know what he's talking about. Now, the analogy the cop give is that he would take that guy out to protect him from getting beat up, because we know football hooligans, right? That's why he gave that type of analogy. The football hooligans, as they're called, they like to attack fans of the opposite team. So to prevent them from being killed in that manner, they would remove them to save their life. But they wouldn't be charged in that situation if they were cheering for the opposite team. That cop is just a complete complete idiot. He has no idea what he's doing. And if that's the height of intelligence of the UK police, Lord help us.
Bad shift. What do you think, sister?
She stood there in a public place wearing a shirt. That's that's like being a football hooligan. So if I walk into that speaker's corner wearing a skirt that the protected group don't like and demand that I be removed, I can be arrested for breach of the peace in a public place, in a known for freedom of speech rights, just for standing there. Seriously? That's the same? So you're telling me that it's basically to do with numbers. If there are enough numbers in the speaker's corner of Muslims acting like football hooligans that don't like the opposite side, which could be Christians preaching the gospel or atheists or any other group, all of them can be arrested for breaching the peace because they offended the Muslim team. That's what he's saying. So you know what? You might as well just give the whole speaker's corner to the protected group, because that's obviously it's their turf. That's what he's saying. This is your turf. Someone else from another team came in. We have to remove them because they're breaching the peace. Speaker's corner is not your turf, Muslims. It's not your turf. It's not your football stadium. It's not your side. It's for everybody to say whatever they like, to wear whatever they like, to stand wherever they like. Shame on that police officer. He's pea-brained. And by the way, brother, the person, guess who the person he was speaking to was? The man who was saying, you know what happened in France? We'll spill blood. So the man who he was speaking to and explaining to him, he was the one breaching the peace. Wow. I just wanna like, makes you want to tear your hair out. Yeah, we arrested her, bro, because she was breaching the peace. You're speaking to the perpetrator. You're speaking to the hooligan. You're speaking to the person who ought to be arrested for actually breaking the law, about the victim that got arrested. And did you see that other person? Yeah, this is not the first time. Last time she also got arrested because she was assaulted. She got arrested because she was assaulted.
Because she was, yeah.
I just want to go to speakers. I don't care if brother, can I need to leave the UK because it's obviously Saudi.
Yeah, it's turning into it. By the way, just a reminder for the live chat, guys. I know this is very frustrating. It's very upsetting, but please try to keep the language G-rated. No foul language, please. Thank you, guys. All right, let's continue on.
What makes her wearing that shirt a breach of the peace?
Okay, what makes her wearing that shirt a breach of the peace? All right, just want to emphasize that. Let's continue on. Let's see what his answer is.
Because she her being wearing that shirt, she made us act in that way, right?
That caused the trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
So what we've done is we've arrested her under the Breach of the Peace Act so that we can get her away from here.
So that means you as a human being recognise that wearing a depiction of the Prophet Muhammad is a breach of the peace.
No.
It's not a breach of the peace. So she was just wrongfully arrested.
All right. What do you think, sister?
Yeah, he just told on himself. It's not breaching the peace. And wearing a depiction of the Prophet Muhammad doesn't breach the peace. You know what breaches the peace? Threats, manhandling, violence, nudity on purpose to intimidate somebody, pushing them, getting in their face, threatening their family, smashing into their homes, terrorizing them, shouting at them. That breaches the peace. Wearing a depiction of anyone doesn't breach the peace. I mean, that's just me. I don't know what universe we are in, what that has different rules. What do you think, brothers? Am I insane here?
What do you think, Chris? What's going on here?
If you are, sister, I'm insane with you. And I'd rather be insane the way that we're thinking than try to figure out how he believes he can have any sanity in his head. Now, daughter of Christ, our sister is 100% correct. The cop admitted what he did was 100% wrong, and the Muslim caught him. Because the cop said we removed Hatun because of the peace, or the breach of peace, right? So the Muslim's like, so she was removed for the shirt, and the cop's like, the shirt was the issue. It caused the problem. So the cop realized that the picture of Muhammad is something that upsets Muslims, right? Then the guy's like, so you realize that that's a breach of the peace? And the cop said, no. Oh, okay, so what did you remove her for? The Muslim was about to ask him that exact question. Well, then why did you remove her? She didn't breach any peace if the shirt, in fact, alone is not a breach of peace, which we all know it's not, and the cop has actually just affirmed that in the video. So he's actually admitted that he falsely arrested her.
Right. And so sister, you pointed out something that I didn't realize. You're saying that these are actually the Muslims asking these questions. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
Okay,
So-
because when you said that, I guess like another ear turned on. Like I heard something I didn't hear the first time. So I'm gonna rewind. It sounds like one of the Muslims says, because she wore that shirt, she made us react this way. I'm gonna play it, and you guys tell me if you hear that. I'm pretty sure I heard that, but this is live. Could have made a mistake, but let's hear it again.
Because like she her being wearing that shirt, she made us act in that way, right?
Yes, you're right. She made us act that way is exactly what he said.
Wow. So are these children? Are these children or are these adults? What she made us act in this way? I didn't catch this the first time because I didn't realize there were Muslims asking these questions.
She made us act this way. This is exactly the Muslim thinking, guys. When you don't wear hijab, you make us want to abuse you. When you dress this way, you make us want to rape you. When you wear this shirt, you make us want to kill you. So it's your fault.
You make
This
us.
is-
You make
This-
us.
You make us. And the policeman like, yeah, since it makes you guys react this way, it's a breach of the peace. So let's turn to the victim. This is exactly what happens in Muslim countries. The judge turns to the woman who's been raped. What were you wearing? You made him act this way. This is what the UK is coming to, guys. Sharia law and Sharia thinking transferred now from the Muslims to the policeman who's nodding. These are the people who are going to protect us, brother, in the UK from these thugs. So.
Wow. You made us. Chris, any comments on that?
You made us. As I said, and as daughter of Christ, that was beautiful how you said it too. As a Muslim, beating his wife because he was allowed to and commanded by his God that he was allowed to, he would blame his wife for making him beat her.
Right. Exactly.
When he plows her like the field, it's her fault that he gets to do this. This is the Muslim mentality, and it's not just for the women that are non-Muslim. This is the way that Muslims look at Muslimas, women that are Muslim. That's why you can have so many, and this is why they'll have so many houris in heaven. Well, it's probably a bunch of little guys because that's what Muhammad liked, but whatever.
Check out this comment from brother Adam Seeker. He said, last time when Pakistani women were raped, police said that she was driving in the middle. So basically, she was driving in the middle of the night. So the woman gets raped, but the police say, oh, she was driving in the middle of the night. In other words, it's her fault. She made us do it. She's driving in the middle of the night. It's her fault. The mentality. I mean, this is just so insane. So because I didn't realize that these were Muslims asking the questions, I was maybe a certain part of my brain wasn't listening for certain things. But when you brought that out, I thought I heard it. I had to go back, and that's exactly what he said. I'm just shocked. I'm surprised that he actually said that.
It's just another level of insanity, brother, that you may have missed the first time because you don't expect it, right? Yes, that Pakistani woman driving in the middle of the night, she breached the peace, guys.
Yeah, her fault. It's her fault. I mean, this is victim blaming to the extreme. This is insanity.
And this is what is so dangerous about people that claim Islamophobia. As soon as they claim Islamophobia, anyone that they deem Islamophobic, they can now do whatever they would like to you because now they've put you in a position that they now can say, well, you made me do this because of who you are. So it's the demonization of anybody that is not you, which we only find in Islam.
Yeah, I mean, how far is this going to go? That you killed this person. Well, he made me do it because he blasphemed Muhammad. You killed this. Well, they made me do it because they left Islam. I mean, these are the people who should be getting arrested, and they're the ones who are telling the cop that she made. I'm sorry, guys. I'm like at a loss for words right now. This is just insane to me. I'm like blown away. I'm blown away at this type of thinking. All right. So there's a couple minutes. I think there's like one segment left. So let's just go through that.
The other thing is, we asked her to leave the park under the park regulations, right? Comfort and convenience. Can you please move that back a bit, please? Right? Right? So under a park regulation, we've asked her to leave the park because we felt that some fear of violence was going to happen. Yeah? So that's what we've done.
Thank you very much.
Comfort and convenience. I mean, this is insane. We thought that violence was going to happen, so we removed her. We didn't remove the violent people. We didn't remove you guys. We should have removed you guys. We should have arrested you guys because we thought you were going to be violent. Like, it's insane that he's talking to the people who are doing this. He's talking to the people who are committing this act. He's saying, we thought you were going to be violent, so we removed her. How backwards is that? How insane. This is just so crazy. Sister, go ahead.
Yeah, this comfort and convenience, no such thing, by the way. If the Speaker's Corner was about comfort and convenience, you'd have nobody debating. You'd have nobody arguing. You'd have nobody disagreeing. And you're right, brother. The actual person he was speaking to and who said thank you very much, he was the criminal. He was the one threatening violence. The exact person. It's like a policeman speaking to the person who's beating his wife. I thought violence was going to happen. That means I thought you were going to beat her. So I took her away. I arrested her.
Exactly. Right.
Happening.
You arrest the victim. Yeah, it's so crazy.
The US, please don't ever get that way. Please, we need somewhere to go if this continues. Please, don't be like the.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Okay, Brother Chris, what are your comments?
I don't have any other comments other than what you guys did. I just want to point out to everybody in the chat. Y'all see how dumb this police officer is? Why are you wearing a mask if you're not even going to put it over your nose? And you were within 6 feet of everybody there. So why are you even pretending that the mask is even on your face? I just want to point that out.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay. All right. So, all right. So, by the way, he said when he's talking about comfort and convenience, he's telling someone to back away. The person with the camera to back up. So he's getting uncomfortable. Does that mean he's going to go arrest them? No, of course not, because he inconsistently applies when he's going to assert his authority, assert his power, and enact the law. It's inconsistent. If that's the law, he's being inconsistent on it. But okay, I think that might be it. But let me just see.
Nobody's leaving. She's the only one leaving.
Okay, so yeah, that's the Muslim saying she's the only one leaving, mate, and then he got his wish. That's what happened. So right now, there's no sound coming out. This is just kind of like overlay. So if you any final words, sister? Any final words, and then Brother Chris, you can close up. Yeah, what are your final thoughts, sister? Go ahead.
When I saw her being arrested, and by the way, for the videos with the audio on, everybody, all the Muslims are whistling. They're jeering. They are mocking. They are calling her names. Ali Dawa is in the background with his squeaky voice, calling her names. You hate preacher. You hate preacher. It reminded me of the Lord Jesus Christ when he was being, obviously his sacrifice is way more, but the more we serve the Lord, the more persecution and the more we actually become like him. And that's what happened to my sister. All these people that were jeering and whistling and mocking and insulting, she's there for their salvation. She's there to rescue them from the evil ideology that's dragging them to hell. And they don't unknowingly turning on her, insulting her, manhandling her, assaulting her, wishing death on her, wanting to spill their blood to harm her even. including the law that's meant to protect her, they've turned against her like a pack of wolves, and she's there for everybody's salvation. She's there speaking up against a rapist, a pedophile, a warlord, a person who caused genocide of the Jews at his time, and a person who's still dragging people to hell right now. And she's crucified for it. So please keep her in prayer. She's a lady who's godly, who is there for the right reasons. She's keeps getting in trouble. She's not doing it for any money. She's not doing it for anything. She puts her own safety at risk. And people are still talking rubbish about her. Muslims are. And she wants their salvation.
Quick question, sister. Before we go to Brother Chris for his final comments, is there anything that our brothers and sisters in the UK can do? Is there any action that they can take?
Yes, there is. Here in the UK, we have something called MPs, members of parliament, and this is the Metropolitan Police. We need you, if you live in the UK, to write to your MP or write to the Metropolitan Police. They have a website and you can email them. I've already done that a few times, but one person isn't enough, I'm afraid. If enough people make a noise about this, they can bring up the question in Parliament saying, how was this allowed? How was this allowed and how is this okay? We have public outrage. But if she continues being on her own in the midst of all this evil, we can't win. We need people to speak up about this. I think people outside the UK can also email in to say, international outrage, but people in the UK actually have the right to get their MP to raise this question in Parliament. Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much, sister. Thanks for being with us. God bless you. Brother Chris, any final comments for us?
Yeah, the first thing I'd like to say is Hatun is doing what she needs to do, and we need to support her in what she does, and we do not need to be one of those people that try to tell Hatun, you shouldn't go to Speaker's Corner. You should stay away from Speaker's Corner. We cannot be those people. We need to be those people that are saying, sister, we need you at Speaker's Corner. We are with you at Speaker's Corner. So there's no more hate towards our sister in Christ, Hatun, for what she's doing at Speaker's Corner, and nothing but love going towards our sister over in the UK. And I just pray that our risen Lord and Savior just be with her so that she's safe. And of course, be with her in the power of the Spirit, so that the preaching of the gospel that she does is always through the Spirit. And in this way, she will be protected. Because over in Europe right now, a lot of people may not know because they may not follow. But you have two little girls, Mimi Hijab and his little girlfriend Ali Dawa, that are basically rounding up their own little hoodlum area, and they're trying to force people to do what they would like and force people out of situations. That's why you even have Mimi Hijab and his girlfriend Ali Dawa going at different Muslims all over the internet, and this is because they want their crowds as well. They can't even share in their YouTube exposure. They want to be solely the only ones doing this, so they're even attacking other Muslims. But for the Muslims that will watch this, because we know tons of Muslims will end up watching this video, I just want to point out that when Muhammad Hijab got destroyed by David Wood in that debate, he actually messaged Sam Shamsi, a Muslim from the UK, and basically asked him to write his rebuttal for him for that debate, because Mimi Hijab was too stupid to understand what David Wood was talking about in his argumentation. This is the type of person you people look up to as being some type of something. He's truly nothing. And I pray that Muslims out there will come to the knowledge of the true Jesus Christ, so that they'll be saved. That's all I gotta say, brother.
Thank you so much. I just want to give a shout out. Brother Chris is going to be live in about 2 hours from now. I'm going to post the link. You guys check it out. Hopefully I got it good there. All right. Pray for our sister Hatun. Thank you so much, sister, daughter of Christ. I really appreciate you being with us. Thank you so much, brother Chris. I really appreciate you being with me as well. You guys, this was like the first stream, and really appreciate your help. Couldn't have done it without you. God bless you guys. Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna close out now.